Hey, welcome back, and buggering hell, I can't even find my way out of here. I'm feeling pretty good about where I'm at with these videos. I think I've got decent mic quality. Where did I even finish up? Where did I even park? What is this place? We've got some mods set up that just work. Okay, I guess I was at the entrance here. Oh, we're asleep. Ah, interesting. Interesting. We should find a place to sleep before doing anything else, I think. So, world map. What are we looking at? I zoom right in on where I'm at. This is a rest stop. And it's why is it taking me that way? Okay, we'll get a rest in here. Because we're gonna need it. Should have plenty of time to pick up this job anyway. Ah, sunshine. Much better. It would have made sense to do that beforehand. It's asking me to turn right, but is that correct? I think I can just turn left. Because it's just going to make me, yeah, turn around there and come all the way back. This is where I'm trying to get to. I've picked a job from Timber Turtle, because I think that's an amazing name. And that is the sole reason I'm taking the job that I am. This should be fine. Yeah, the arrows are pointing in this direction now, so we should be fine. Yeah, my mic audio is at a decent level, I think, at decent quality. I've got all the mods installed that I want to have. I've started doing some of the series as well. Oops. Sometimes you forget you're not hauling a trailer, so you're a lot lighter. There we go. Although, you know, if I'd been heavier, then it would have taken more to slow me down, so I don't know why I'm saying that made any kind of difference. Yeah, we're good. I'm just gonna zoom out here. Taking a peek out of my left rear view mirror, but nothing to really worry about. 32 miles to even pick up this job. I will keep right. Do I want to exit here? Oh yeah, okay, I do. I absolutely do.
Get ready, turn left. Turn left.
You know what? I got a little bit distracted there, and I didn't check behind me. That's cool. Should see if we can pick up some speed and keep pace, or even go faster. I used to, as a kid, we lived near the beach, but we also lived near train tracks. And so if I was walking the dog, whoops, if I was walking the dog down to the beach, I would race alongside next to trains. So would the dog, obviously. Big train comes, he'd start barking and start chasing it. We're not anywhere near the tracks at this point. He's on the lead when we're crossing, so there's no worries about him running off and actually trying to catch the train. But it was good exercise chasing trains, I thought. For him and for me. Ooh! Oh, that was bad. Oh dear. Yep, there you go, mate. I'll give you all the space you need if you want it. What speed were we going that I failed to slow down there?
Turn right.
I'd like to say I wouldn't have made that mistake if I was hauling a trailer. Because I tend to go a fair bit slower if I'm carrying a trailer.
You have arrived at your destination.
We don't have the same level of acceleration.
It is now finished.
Here we go. So let me show you the job that I'm looking at today. It's this one. Just a bundle of corks. They obviously work with timber here, being Timber Turtle. Taking a bundle of corks up to Poland. Other options include Verona. That actually pays more.
Come around, lay down your telephone.
It's not much further and it pays more.
We think we're broken or alone.
Considerably more interesting. Yeah. Obviously this pays more per mile, but in general we'll be rushing and we may not make the full amount because this does in fact include your bonuses for getting it there on time and stuff. When are you expected? Friday. It's Wednesday. I mean, we'll probably be able to do that. But why stress over it when we can take this one? Okay, let's do that instead.
Ready to roll.
It's heading more in the sort of direction that I want to be going anyway, so... Looks like it's over there. Hold on. Whoops. Wrong button. Just wanted to pull my window down.
Here we go.
There we go. And we are away. 1,088 miles. I desperately need to repair my truck. After all those crashes. But now we're taking... Interesting. It just said there, press to view job offer. I didn't think I'd be able to look at job offers when I'm actually carrying one. But we're off. We're carrying sawdust to Verona. The entire job selection process was me being like, Timber Turtle. That is cool. The logo was cool too, because it was like it was a circular saw, right? In place of a turtle's shell. After this red car. After this white car. There we go. All the way across, there we are. So I'm playing a little bit of Euro Truck Simulator 2 to unwind at the moment. I say we're in a good place. We're in a good place with the audio, with the mods that I've got. We're still playing 1.4.4 at the moment. 1.4.5 is out, and I'll upgrade as soon as I can. I think 1.4.5 is out. It's certainly out for American Truck Simulator. I will upgrade as soon as Pro Mods and other mods are up to date. Certainly the main Pro Mods pack, because that's doing most of the work for us, changing the terrain. That's doing the biggest job of all, really. We still haven't visited the Middle East, we still haven't visited Africa. I don't know that we've yet entered the region covered by Rust Map. I think we may have. We still need to do way more in those DLC areas. I have my headlights on. What time is it? 10 in the morning. They don't need to be on. I'm just planning to unwind a little. We won't do this entire job in one go, I don't think. We'll do... probably 2 parts. So probably separate it into 2 parts of 500 miles. I didn't check to see when this was expected delivery-wise either. But it not being urgent, we will presumably have time for a sleep, and I think on a 1,000-mile job you need to. Certainly we'll need to pick up some petrol. Is it petrol? Or is diesel not petrol?
Keep right, and then turn right.
Because my understanding is that diesel is a kind of petrol, but you know, not all petrol is diesel.
Get ready to turn right. Turn right.
Yeah, so the idea was unwind a little bit because I am a little bit stressed at the moment. Just doing various work stuff and various bits and bobs I can't actually talk about. Because my actual job is software development. I work software development contracts. I'm working for... well, I've worked for all sorts, really. But I'm working for a pretty major public company in the United Kingdom at the moment. We got some huge integrations to handle. Simple stuff, really. I'm just yeah, just unwinding, just taking in the European scenery. I will say this about the beginning of these videos. I want to mix it up a little bit, change it up. I feel like the whole hello and welcome back to Euro Truck Simulator 2. I am Tom, and when we left off, I feel like all of that is it's redundant, it's boring, and if I were watching these videos, it wouldn't capture my interest. That was a big one. That was a hefty chunk of change we just lost there. Yeah, it wouldn't capture your interest, right? If you were new to the videos, if you were, which, you know, I haven't been doing this long, so anybody watching is going to be new to these videos. The whole no more crashing, please. It just doesn't capture you. It doesn't capture me. I think I need to be getting started with immediate conversation. Like, hey, welcome back, and today we're going to be talking about quantum mechanics. The hey, welcome back, or however I start this. That's easy because it's you know, it's an easy thing to go for unscripted. If you pick up a telephone, you say hello, right? So if you pick up a game and you start recording yourself, you're going to say, hello, welcome back, and whatnot. It's easy to do unscripted, and then you can just riff on whatever comes to mind from there. But that's boring. I feel like I need to start as though I'm mid-thought, and that's more interesting. You know what I mean? So like imagine... Like I kind of did you know as an opening line. Did you know? But then I need to actually sort of half script what the conversation for the video is going to be. Not script it, obviously, but basically give myself a prompt. Which could be quantum mechanics, but it couldn't possibly be as vague as that, because how do you start talking about that? Schrodinger's cat. Schrodinger's cat, the cat that's both dead and alive until you open the box and find out. And it's not one way or the other, it's both. Schrödinger came up with that thought experiment to mock the idea of quantum mechanics, essentially. He said, isn't it absurd? Wouldn't it be absurd if this is the way the world worked? This is ridiculous. Therefore, quantum mechanics is nonsense. However, later experimental evidence did prove that that is in fact the way that quantum mechanics works. At least on the sub-macro scale, you know, the quantum scale. Who keeps finding out? Was there a speed camera? That's almost $5,000 that I've just I've lost to speeding. Oh, we need petrol. Is this a petrol station? No. Okay. Next petrol station we find, we will pick some up. Yeah, Schrödinger came up with that thought experiment as mockery of quantum mechanics. But that is in fact how it works. All particles, in fact, travel as waves. Did it say keep right or keep left? It's got to be keep left, right? Because we're... Yeah, keep left, because we want to be in the this lane. We want to be going all the way around. No, no, no! This is clearly going to be the journey of many, 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 many finds. I'm sure that at a roundabout like that, since I'm going all the way around to the other side, I'm supposed to take the inside lane. Oops, I'm still indicating. I'm sure of it. Because the vehicle's exiting on one of the earlier exits. The vehicles exiting on the earlier exits, they're wanting to get out first, so they'll take the outside lane, right? I think I just need to ignore whatever I think the rules are. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But I think I need to ignore that. And instead I need to... I need to drive with the Euro Truck Simulator 2 AI in mind. Which is to say,
Go straight on.
I need to leave them no room. Yeah, because they will not. Essentially, they are not particularly conscious of my existence. So, like, they are here on a straight road. The car behind will follow. But at corners and roundabouts and everything like that, they don't seem particularly aware of my existence. But particles, when they're not observed, behave like waves. And all of the state of the particle is completely undetermined and probabilistic. It's a probability wave. So it could have, you know, upspin or downspin. In fact, it would have, literally, it would have both until observed. It's in a superposition. So when we think of particles as, you know, real objects, solid things that exist, that's not actually true unless they're actually being looked at. They're actually being measured with, you know, our instruments. And I'll clarify that because that will make some people furious. Like, it's not necessarily about, you know, conscious observation. It's about, you know, interaction. When one particle interacts with another particle, they, you know, they measure one another. They observe one another. So, in that sense, for that instant, they are both particles, and then they both go back to slightly modified probability waves. They've become entangled. But when you're not looking, when a particle's just, you know, free in space, it's not actually there. It's not a solid thing with features until it actually is observed, whether that be through another particle interaction or through scientific instruments, you know?
Keep right, and then exit right.
And that's essentially what Schrödinger said was absurd and came up with this,
Exit right.
nope, we're not doing that. You'll have to find me a different route.
Find a new.
Just trying to see if there was, because if we get pushed back in this direction, we want to know where the actual incident on the road is. I didn't see it back there, so. The journey is now 917 miles more. Not more, sorry. That's how much it is total. From here. I don't know how much it was before it got cranked up there. Ooh, more. A lot of stuff going on this road. Oops. So Schrödinger came up with Schrödinger's cat to essentially say, that's nonsense. Can you imagine if we said the same thing about cats? About these large objects? Does a chair not exist when I'm not looking at it? Quantum mechanics is weird. Really weird. And the answer to does a chair exist when we're not looking at it is we don't know, actually, because we don't know. Like, when we're looking at macro scale objects like a chair or a cat, they obviously appear to behave as macro scale objects. but we don't actually know where the boundary between quantum behavior and classical behavior is. So that's bizarre. The fundamental thing, and like, okay, we know definitely that there is a breakdown of quantum phenomena into classically behaving things, right, at some sort of scale, and we don't know if it is based on scale. Probably not, or if it's based on some other factor, like it could be mass or gravity, or it could be.
Keep right, and then exit right.
It could be accumulation, you know, it could be volume, you know, the number of things. Because a chair or a cat is...
Exit right.
Yeah, that crash vehicle, that was not my fault. If you want to go back a few seconds and look at what happened in my rear view mirror there on the left-hand side, that wasn't my fault. That is the first time I have been
Turn right.
100% confident that that wasn't on me. That was... This is what I'm saying, the cars are just not aware of my existence. So here's the funny thing about quantum mechanics and video games, right? There's no quantum mechanics involved in video games really, but we are playing in a map of Europe, right? Which is a huge area to cover. And obviously it's 1/20th scale, so not all of Europe is covered. But which part of Europe is actually rendered? And if you look at the mirrors on the right-hand side here, you can see exactly what I mean. Or even, yeah, there are. Even up just ahead, like, there's enough distance ahead of us that things are popping into existence. Because... And it's oh, that was a garage. Never mind. Yeah, in the rearview mirror you can see all the time, as we pass the trees, they're disappearing, they're popping out of existence because we're not technically looking at them anymore. And because the render settings in the settings configuration is saying mirror render distance should be lower than, you know, where we're looking. So there's a chance that this sort of things aren't rendered unless we're looking at them phenomenon that we are so familiar with in video games actually applies to reality too. There's a chance. But as I was saying, quantum phenomena may break down due to scale of objects. Say a chair or a cat, there's trillions of atoms involved in one of those objects, and they're all contained and interacting with one another. So maybe this massive scale of the object causes it to behave classically, and it doesn't matter that we're not looking at it. You know what I mean? The chair still exists when we're not in the room. And that's a much more naturalistic interpretation of quantum mechanics, and, you know, therefore, probably the more realistic one. Because it's a massive debate and sort of controversy and a bunch of nonsense pseudoscience to try and inject consciousness into the equations of quantum mechanics. There's and I'm going to put this in air quotes, documentary called What the Bleep Do We Know? That is, I believe, based on that pseudoscientific concept that I mean, it's also what the bullshit like self-help book, what a lot of bullshit self-help books are based on. In particular, I'm thinking of The Secret, where it's like you can manifest reality by thinking of it. And a lot of self-help gurus, and oh my god, this is the journey of many, many finds. They tried to inject quantum mechanics into their silly self-help philosophies, and I don't fault the self-help industry at all. I fault that specific genre of book, the one that's trying to tell you that you can manifest your destiny by thinking of a certain way. No, I've read self-help books. One of my favorites is okay, it's an odd one. It's whoops, I'm looking for it on my bookshelf. I'm so sorry. It's Happy by Darren Brown. Darren Brown is a brilliant magician, essentially. That's all he is he's a magician. Although his stage persona and his patter on stage will always tell you, I mix magic, psychology, and illusion. So he's a mentalist magician, basically. But he's brilliant, and his book Happy is excellent. And you know, it's a self-help text. It's about, well, it's about ancient philosophy, so it's a history text as well. And he's talking about Hellenistic philosophy. He's talking about Platonic philosophy and all the ancient Greek ideals, essentially, of back when philosophy was a question of how to be happiest. That's why the book is called Happy. And broadly, the book is about, you know, there are things outside of your control. You can't manifest destiny by dreaming about it. And it's about accepting happiness and truly working on yourself to, you know, obtain the goals that you're looking for. It's not about being satisfied with where you are, but it is about being content with where you are, content and focused, but never deluding yourself that you can bring about circumstances just by visualizing them, or yeah, I'm doing a bad job of selling it, but it's a great book. So I'm not faulting the self-help genre in totality, just the ones that try to say, ooh, I could do some petrol. This isn't a rest stop though, and it's such a tiny little garage. Okay, we're gonna look for the next one. Eep, 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 eep. We're good. We're good, we're fine. I don't know why I said eep. Really what quantum mechanics is a mathematical model for describing what reality behaves like, right? And there's been a lot of effort from, oh dear, this is going to take forever, isn't it? What time of day is it? 5 o'clock, rush hour. There's no signals here, is there? So this is a junction without signals. You should go as well. You should, yeah, brilliant. And then I want to go this way. Yeah. So there are a lot of theoretical physicists who, you know, study this sort of thing, who want to essentially say, look, quantum mechanics, it's not a description of reality that you should, like, take literally. It's a mathematical system. It describes the functions of reality well enough for us to make calculations, basically, but it isn't necessarily the objective truth of reality, and you shouldn't expect it to be. You shouldn't expect. Is this is my turn off for fuel and maybe a rest point? Here we go. Get plenty of fuel. What's the price of it? 187. So yeah, as well as these, the main thing I've been discussing is the Copenhagen interpretation. That is what Schrodinger had a problem with. Was what am I doing actually? Can't believe that didn't count as a crashed vehicle offense. You keep going. Yeah, we're good. There's no one else coming on my left side, so looks like we're just supposed to. This looks like a border crossing, right? Yeah. But there are other interpretations besides the Copenhagen. Brilliant, thank you. Everything's in order. That aim to be a little more realistic. Oh, do we also have to be weighed? Is that what's happening here? I think there's a rest stop. Total weight is 35 tons. You may proceed. That was cool. I probably will have to stop for a rest here as well. That'll do for a parking job, that's totally fine. Before we do that, we will check some stuff. That's what I'm saying, there's other interpretations of quantum mechanics. Maybe we'll come to those in the next episode. How long have we been recording? Yeah, we're not going to cover much more today. But I do want to check my drivers, see how they're doing. Jacob is focusing on just-in-time delivery. Dave, you still need to complete long distance, so that's totally fine. Nothing else to do yet. Sawdust panels from Brasov to Verona. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, by the way. It's either Brasov or Blachov. If you're Romanian, perhaps you can correct me on either of those. We've just done the crossing, so I don't think we'll have to do it again. We might, who knows. Yeah, we've just come out of Romania. Looks like, is that how far we've come? No, I swear we came from over here, didn't we? Yeah, we've done all that as well. That gets us to here. Oh, we're nowhere. We're not even halfway. Maybe we do the rest in the next episode. Maybe we don't. Maybe we have another 2 pops at this. I don't know. But I'll leave it there. And I guess next episode we'll talk about like other interpretations of quantum mechanics, because there are others that aim to be a little bit more realistic, or some attempt to rework realism into the concepts of quantum mechanics. We can also talk about string theory, possibly loop quantum gravity as well. I'm less familiar with loop quantum gravity than I am with string theory, though. But there are some really interesting concepts that I am familiar with in both that are quite similar, so I'd like to talk about that. Yeah, in the meantime, thank you very much for joining me for this. I have been Tom, and this has been Euro Truck Simulator 2. Ta-ra.